Welcome to the World Warriors of Capcom Cup Player Showcase. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. This is the series of videos where we go over all 32 qualifiers of the Capcom Cup. This is going to be the event that's going to take place in early December at the Sony PlayStation Experience. If you're not familiar with the Capcom Cup or the Capcom Pro Tour that's been going on all year, you can check on this YouTube channel here for the introduction video that we made that explains all about it, talks about all the stories of Capcom Cup and all Capcom Pro Tour and all the rules and how it all fell into place. So, yeah, definitely check that out.
But for today, we're going to be talking about Mago.
Mago-san.
The 2D god.
That's right.
Mago-san.
A player who's been playing for a pretty long time now.
A long time. Yeah, I was trying to think back to when I first heard of him. It's been a dozen years plus.
Right.
But what I knew him for first was playing CVS2 and getting RC Honda and making that character work. I know him for picking good characters, I would say, is one of the defining things throughout his career. Not just in CVS2, but in Street Fighter 4, where he's been one of the top players, throughout the lifetime of SF4. He was one of the best Sagat players in Vanilla.
Right.
He was one of the first people to recognize Fei Long's strength and switch to Fei Long at a time when it sounds silly now, but people didn't think that character was very good.
Right, yeah. And, it was even to the point where Fei Long got a couple of buffs between versions because people didn't realize how good he was. And I remember in the AE, people used to joke that was Hong Kong Fighter 4 because of Yun Yang and Fei Long. But Mago was using him even back in Super.
Yes.
And he kept playing him, and he played him for a really long time through AE 2012.
Uh-huh.
And then Ultra came out, and something changed. And he just said, you know what? I'm tired of using this character. I'm going to go play some Yang.
Well, Fei Long did get a little bit worse, and Yang got a little bit better. But that said, very few people play Yang. And while some people think he's strong, other people don't. The jury is very much out on him, I think.
Right.
He's not one of these characters where there's good consensus.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We don't see a lot of players using him for some strange reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Good mobility. Some nice mix-ups. The damage is maybe a little bit wanting, but he does have some cool movement options going for him. But it is, I would say, a departure for Mago from his previous characters. Not just because it's not a top-tier character, but because the character is more about sort of free-form movement and just sort of
improvisation.
Making it up. Yes, improvisation, which is definitely not what his Fei Long or his Sagat or etc. were about. Yeah,
when he played Sagat and played Fei Long, it was very, very kind of like, I don't want to call it strict style, but it was very. He played them efficiently.
He was by the numbers.
Yeah, and the interesting part is when he moved over to Yang now. I mean, I think he's talked a little about this, that he started playing this character because he just thinks he's fun, he's more enjoyable to play, and you can see it in his play style. He likes to, like you said, it's a little more freeform, right? It's almost kind of like he gets to do a lot more things, he gets to make up things and kind of style on people and such. And when I see him play, I mean, I like the way that his Yang looks.
Of course.
Because it does have this kind of nice momentum to it, this good speed, this kind of fun factor to it. So, I think that's really cool because oftentimes, people talk about going with a top tier character or going with a character that connects with you.
Yes.
And, he's definitely, turned a lot of heads with his Yang play because a lot of people are like, I thought this character was bad. And he's won a bunch of tournaments. And sure enough, he won Hype Spotting, a Capcom Premier event, to make it into the Capcom Cup.
That's right. So he got first place at Hype Spotting, but that's not his only accomplishment in Ultra SF4. He got 5th at Tiger Uppercut 2014. He got 3rd at BEST Best Japan Cup. He got 1st at Southeast Asia Majors 2015 with a very stacked event. 5th at CEO 2015, 5th at Tokyo Game Show. Those are really strong events. So.
Yeah, the one that sticks out in my head was the CEO event because I remember we were doing commentary for that, and I just remember watching his Yang, and like I said, it just looked like he was having a lot of fun, and he just got to make up a lot of things as he was going. So
Agreed. It's not all top 8s. There are some tournaments at SoCal Regionals just recently. He got 25th place.
Right.
At EVO, he did not do very well.
Yes.
EVO 2015. So.
And in fact, at EVO and an SCR, he lost to the same player, one SD Pinoy. But his results have been kind of up and down a little bit throughout the year. But again, a lot of people probably were not expecting him to do as well as he's doing with a character like Yang. So it's really cool to see. And I'm sure you've heard us talk about this a lot at events, character variety in this game.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's really cool to see Mago representing a character like this now. So,
Agreed. So the match that we're going to check out is Mago versus Tokido from Hype Spotting. As you said, that's where Mago qualified, so spoiler, he's going to be the guy who wins.
Yeah, I mean, he's going up against his teammate, of course, the trio of Mad Catz players, Mago, Tokido, and Daigo. Been with Mad Catz for a long time.
Some years.
Yeah, they were all signed at pretty much the exact same time. And he made it all the way through winners bracket here, and I believe he put Tokido into losers, and so this is going to be a run back, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this here.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Yang on the left, of course, and Akuma on the right. This is a matchup where Akuma is liable to get chased down by Yang. That mobility, as you can see from Yang, is just so useful in this matchup.
Yep, there you go. And I really like the way that he used the air-to-air versus Tokido when Tokido jumped at him. Now, I mean, just a little caveat here. This is going to be kind of a sloppy first game here.
Yeah.
They're kind of scrapping around a little bit. But you can see right here, this is what I'm talking about with the way Mago plays Yang. He gets you in the corner, he uses the jump cancel on that close stand forward, and lots of really creative, liberal use of the meter for the FADC to keep pressure going.
Well, he builds meter pretty quickly. You can see the backdash mobility there. Ooh, okay, well, the hit, this like we said, a little bit sloppy, but you can get a good idea for what his pressure is, right? So it's his corner control, harassment, with crouching short and the mantis slashes and crouching medium kick and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, right. So, but he has the jump cancel pressure in the corner, and that's sort of what we mean when we're talking about him having this free form looking pressure, where it's just really like, what do you want to do at that moment? There's nothing like pre-planned necessarily.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that I think Yang affords him. And so here we go again. You see this situation a lot where he gets in the corner and he has the ability to, jump cancel moves or just neutral jump at that range and be threatening with the dive kick.
Right.
Yeah. He really likes the pressure with the Mantis Slash.
Yeah, the jab Mantis Slash is only -2, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, but here we go. Right back in the corner again. And does a combo that, before this match, I wasn't even aware that was possible. Because everyone always FADCs the second one.
Right, yeah. But another thing that I like about the combos that he picks is that they're very much designed to put the opponent into the corner. We'll see some of them, but that's the goal. That's the whole goal of his game plan. Chase down, get the corner.
Yeah, one of the nice things that you're going to see here. So, I mean, here's Mago up 1-0, and, spoiler alerts here, but Tokido starts to turn it on at this point in time. And in fact, he's going to get a couple of perfects on Mago. But the really key is, after Mago goes up 2-1, it's very telling the kind of player Mago is to be able to come back from that situation.
Yeah, not easy.
To be in a situation, where it looks like Tokido. Oh, and by the way, I feel like he's jumping into a lot of those air fireballs on purpose. You see this happen at a wake-up situation a little bit later on. It's really smart because I think he's more worried about the pressure that Akuma gets if he blocks it. And so if he just takes it and quick rises, you don't have to deal with a vortex kind of situation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he tried to reversal there. He got hit in that situation, but like I said, later on you'll see it where he just basically does a wake up into a fireball, and so I feel like he's doing that intentionally. So again, smart strategies from Mago, but this is going to be the kind of round you're going to have against an Akuma from time to time.
Yeah, and Yang doesn't have very much life. He doesn't have a long stun bar, so he is liable to if you make some wrong choices, he can go bye-bye pretty quickly.
Right, and Tokido, very strong player. So like I said, he's a very strong player. He's going to take 2 games in a row here in pretty dominating fashion. And I love the air-to-air from Tokido as well. But he's going to take the 2 games in a row in dominating fashion, and that's not going to be enough to discourage Mago. But here we go.
Yeah, nice little find. Immediately into the corner. It just feels like every time he hits the opponent, they're in the corner all of a sudden.
Yeah, see the FADCs? Oh, that was nice.
Right, because a lot of the time he does the jump cancel into fierce or into dive kick. Yeah. But that time it was crossover.
Right. But you can see how he uses the teleport or the FADC or the jump cancel. He just stays in your face so well, and he's really good at mixing up between the options.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, he came from Sagat and Fei Long, 2 characters who don't really have that kind of abilities. Right there, you see how he just kind of did the wake up into the air fireball right there. So now he doesn't have to deal with the vortex situation. So I kind of like that.
So he kind of spends some health and gets out of his bad situation. Yeah, that's cool.
But again, like I said, those other characters didn't quite give him the ability to play this kind of game. And I feel like it's kind of like a new Mago that we're seeing now.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go, Tokido once again going with that air-to-air. And here comes some good pressures here, but keep in mind, you see him doing that stand roundhouse a lot. I feel like Mago will probably take advantage of that a little bit later on with a focus attack or so.
Well, for this game, though, that's it. So, as you said, Tokido makes that comeback. He was down 1-0, now he's up 2-1. There were 2 perfects in there.
Right.
So the question for Mago is, how do you respond to that? Does that make you change your gameplay at all?
And
not really.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is you can see right here, he goes to character select.
Yeah.
And he is going to think about this for a while.
Yeah.
So he sits here and he's thinking about it because, even though he has made the switch to Yang, there has been a couple of tournaments that he has played Fei Long.
Yes.
That he has gone back to Fei Long.
Yes, he is keeping that character around.
But he decides to stick with Yang, and as we said, it's going to pay off for him.
I think this is a good matchup to stick with Yang. I think Yang does well against Akuma.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what kind of adjustments that he's going to make here. But to be honest with you, I think he keeps playing his game. It's just now it's going to start working a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to put it, actually.
Because like I said, based on the way that he's playing the character, once he gets to...
that's so good.
Yeah, it's a nice forward dash there. But the way he plays, see, here we go. That same corner pressure, and... he went for the command throw. Tokido got the uppercut, but...
There it is, the DP this time. Because he hadn't done that for quite a while, and so Tokido just got used to moving around.
Yeah, but as long as... If Yang can keep you in the corner and keep you under that pressure, there it is, the focus to punish that stand roundhouse. But if he can keep you in the corner like this, this is where... This is basically Yang's game.
Yeah.
And so you see a bunch of dashes forward just to make sure he stays in range.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just harassing here. It looks like he's having a good time doing this. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
That was a really great reaction.
So the one time that Tokido gets out of the corner, it's landing on a stand medium kick. That's great for a Mago. Have control of the corner. If the opponent threatens to get out of it, make sure you punish.
I know he's going to land that stand forward again, and he's going to get those corner carry combos that you were talking about.
Yeah. There is a big one coming up, I think. So you see him now trying to outrange that stand roundhouse from Akuma a little bit. We see some different tools, like the focus. He's brought that in a couple of times.
Yeah, so there you go. There was one. He was kind of in the corner already, but you're going to see it again. And yes,
nice.
Now he lands that and he gets the stun here. But you see, it's just good mix-up pressure in the corner. And I feel like if you can mix it up enough, if you can keep all of your options different every time. And that time, it was the jump cancel medium kick followed by jump fierce, walk up, EX command throw. And you're so used to him jump canceling and jumping forward. You have to guess from the front or the back, and then all of a sudden he lands on the jump fierce. So you're like, oh, he switched it up. And then he uses that little subterfuge to land the command throw.
I do see him trying to outrange that Akuma roundhouse. It doesn't work every time, but he's definitely picked up the range on it. Not that this is the first time these two have played, of course. I'm sure they've played many a time.
And here we go. Right back into the corner.
Oh, okay.
And Tokido puts himself right back in there.
Ooh, didn't get the anti-air. But again, just this harassing pressure. Harass from the front.
Ooh.
Yeah, great block by Tokido.
Yeah.
Oh, tried to get the whiff punish. Nice! Unfortunately, Yang is not quite there.
Yeah, not the damage monster, but gets a good prediction there. But you can see now, he's at match point, and it's definitely a lot more harassing style. He's exacting his will now on Tokido.
Well, I feel like the thing that has changed the most is sort of just that the mix-ups are working. Like, he's figured out what he expects Tokido to do more often.
Mm-hmm. And here we go.
Yeah, this. I love that half screen, half stage corner carry.
Right, and right back into this corner situation.
Yeah, exactly. Just great control right now. He has bar for FADC, for pressure, for damage. Yes. So that just worked, right? That was him getting into the corner. It was him, making the mix-ups happen. You can see him on the right side of your screen there.
Yeah, back there, watch him. He's very happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. He just qualified, right? So you should be happy. It was him controlling the corner, harassing. The mix-ups were starting to work. You could see him making the right read a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
And nice play by him, especially to not get discouraged.
Right. That was the main thing right there is, in those kind of situations, especially two dominating rounds with two perfects like that, it's just really easy to get discouraged in that situation. But, remained steadfast and was able to take it. So
yeah, nice work. Mm-hmm. So as a result, Mago is in the Capcom Cup. Mm-hmm. He is one of the premier qualifiers, the auto qualifiers.
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle in his way at Capcom Cup?
Well, I mean, I always hate going to characters. You know what I mean? But Yang definitely is not on the same level as all the evil Ryus,
Well, he's not an evil Ryu level.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And such in the tournament. But that may be one thing that's kind of getting in his way. And also, as we mentioned, it has been a little bit of inconsistency. Like we said, SCR, he didn't play as strong, as a lot of people were expecting. But then at CEO, he got 5th place. And you remember, CEO was stacked.
Yeah, and he won Southeast Asia Majors, which was one of the most stacked tournaments of the year.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like an up and down. It's like a roller coaster ride for him. But again, the reason why we keep saying that whole free form or improvised, reason why we keep saying it over and over again is because that's what you kind of get when you play Yang that way and you get that kind of pressure in the corner, because it's not the greatest of mix-ups. It's not a vortex situation. It's not like a really oppressive, and if he lands an overhead, it's a hop kick. You know what I mean? That's all you get out of it. But the thing is, if it pays off, if your opponent gets overwhelmed, then it absolutely works, as we saw in the last couple of matches there when he was fighting against Tokido. So it's really just about, can Yang carry him through this? So that's the main thing I'm probably a little worried about. Again, I hate blaming characters. I don't want to make it sound that way, but
Well, he is keeping Fei Long around.
That's true.
And we have seen him go to Fei. In fact, he played Fei at SCR, I think, against Pinoy. So.
And I think he also did use Fei at the Southeast Asia Majors when he did win. So I think he busted out Fei Long a couple
It's smart to keep that character around, because they have different matchups. They're played quite differently, and that means that if you have both available to you, then that's going to be a bonus.
Yeah, and that's not to say either that Fei Long is like some magical top tier character, because he's not as strong as he used to be, right? But, most people would tell you he's higher on the tier list than Yang is.
I think that's true. I think most people would say that.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is?
I think it's the lack of consistency. It's just sort of hard to know what you're gonna run into.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to have problems with somebody, we keep mentioning Pinoy, but just sort of a patient person who can just wait it out.
Right.
In those rounds that Akuma won that we just saw, some of them were just Tokido playing patiently and reactively, right? So I feel like that is a potential problem that he could run into, sort of that style clash. I'm not sure that he deals with very well, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Well, what on the flip side, what do you think it's going to take for him to win? Capcom Cup?
Well, I think he has to. He's got to capitalize on opponents' mistakes.
Right.
If he notices anything bad happening, that he has to take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. And as we saw in that set with Tokido, it's really about making those reads, I think, for him, which is something that it's a skill, but at the same time there is some luck in there. Right. It's not just that. So the difference between how he plays now and how he used to is that it's not that he's just standing at the right spot and controlling everything. He has to pressure a little bit, and that means that you have to get lucky to some degree. So I really feel like that is going to play a big part.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just think he's got to have fun.
Okay.
Like I said, the more fun he's having, like I said, I think that kind of gets him in that groove with Yang, and so. We saw there he lost those 2 games. If he can just stay focused, calm, and have some fun and be able to exact his will on the opponents, I feel like he's going to be able to do really well. He's going to be just one of those players that it's going to be really dangerous to run into.
Well, overall then, what are your predictions?
I mean, I feel like he's gonna have a little bit more of a rough time than some of the other players that are in there. Again, I don't want to blame it on the character, but there's a reason we don't see a lot of Yangs in tournaments. There's a reason why we don't see him get particularly far in a lot of tournaments. But like I said, he's been maximizing that character, and if it gels with him like this, then he can do really well. So I feel. And again, that inconsistency. So it's really hard for me to call right now. It's really hard for me to call how he's going to do.
I feel the odds are against him, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough road. But he did win Southeast Asia, which, like I said, that was one of the toughest tournaments all year.
Right.
And he's the person who came out on top. So it's something that he is capable of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure,
absolutely.
He's capable of.
He can beat anybody in that tournament. But he could also lose to anybody in that tournament. That's kind of that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think you're right about that. So, okay. That's Mago. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is going to take place at the Sony PlayStation Experience on December 5th through 6th. That's going to be in San Francisco.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere in San Francisco and can make it into the Sony PlayStation Experience, you owe it to yourself to do so. Because this is going to be an awesome event. This is going to be fun. Again, 32 of the best players from around the world.
And if you can't make it there, it will be on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters.
Yeah, so definitely follow that. Follow them on Twitter at Capcom Fighters as well to get all the updates on, upcoming events that are still left to come and such. And also, like I said, subscribe on Twitch so that as soon as it starts, you know exactly when it starts.
So. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. If you like this kind of thing, where we analyze players and video, and where we talk about their stories and backgrounds and all that sort of stuff, might want to check our show out. We do a thing called Ultra Chen TV. You can find it on twitch.tv, youtube.com/Ultra Chen TV, and we got news over there. We have analysis, all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, talk about what's going on in the fighting game community, controversies, dramas, those kind of things. You can also follow us on Twitter at UltraChenTV.
So. There you go. All right. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll see you at Capcom Cup.